welcome to my book nook.
We are monsters. We give and we take. We get.
If you're new around here, the name's Rainy. I read all different types of books from all different types of genres, mainly fantasy romance at this time. If you're interested in that, please like and subscribe to my channel down below. It really helps my channel grow. Today's video, we are doing the one with the TBR. And I keep saying I'm going to revamp this board, and then I run out of time. Summer is going to be the time. If you're new to this is my Friends themed TBR. It's all around the trivia challenge from the game Friends. I'm really not going to dive too deep into this. So like, if you're new to this, like watch all the videos, it explains. But I basically have 4 different categories of new to me authors, authors I've read from series, and trending popular books that I want to get to soon or prioritize. I have a lightning round where I answer questions and have to add a book or not. You know, it's a wonderful fun time. We pull prompts out of jars. That's really all you need to know. And I do 6 rolls each time. Now I will say, I am participating in Escape the Readathon, which is hosted by Lexi from Books with Lexi. I'll link to underneath here if you want to join. So I have ideas of what I want to read for that. And so I'm hoping that the books that I pick for each prompt will like magically work for this. But you know, last month was kind of tricky. And I had a great TBR for last month. But that does not mean that I read it. So the other thing that we do before we dive in is we talk about, did I read the books that I put on my TBR or not? And I'm just going to say that around the 18th of the month, I got in a huge slump. Have not finished a book since. Have not finished. Have not wanted to read. Have not finished a book since. I'm really hoping that I get out of this slump in May because I'm quite upset with myself. So I've only read like 7 books and that's very low for me. So anyway, because of that, I didn't read a lot of my TBR. As far as the first one, which was The Crimson Moth / Heartless Hunter, I am 12% into that book currently, and I'm absolutely loving it, so I will finish it, but it'll be finished in May. The Gilded Ones, I DNF'd, did not like. A Court of Mist and Fury, I did not get to, but I need to get to this month for a very secret video that I can't share about for a couple of months, but I do need to read that. Shark Heart, didn't even try. Alone with You in the Ether, the video that I was doing before got pushed back, probably to May or June, so I'm pushing that book back as well. The Center, didn't get to. Iron Flame, big surprise, didn't get to. The Invocations, I didn't get to. Kingdom of the Wicked, I did. It was alright. Long Live, I actually messed up. That was the Fantasy Romance Book Club's pick for May, and so I didn't realize that, but I didn't get to it anyway, so it's fine. It's fine. At First Bite, I did get to, and I really enjoyed. And A Fate of Wrath and Flame, my favorite book of the month. So I very much enjoyed that book as well. But like I said, the slump really killed me. Absolutely killed me. So we're gonna be kind to ourselves, and we're gonna see if we can get over this slump by starting off with a bang. So here is roll number 1. I'm trying to like be in the shot but also let you see the board, and it is very difficult, I will just say. But my first roll was a 15. It takes me forever to find the number that I'm like hunting for, but it's 15 and it is in series, and it is like a historical fiction or literary fiction book that is a series. And I'm just gonna say right now, I don't have very many of those, and so I actually need to just change the color for this for series. If I get that in series, I'm going to look at the prompt, see if it's doable, and if it's not, then I'm just going to turn that into a yellow, which means I get to pick a book, and we're just going to call that good. Okay, so let's first see if I can get a prompt to match it. And let's go with you first, being able to see it. Read a book with a mostly 5-star ratings on Goodreads from your least favorite genre, which would be historical fiction and literary fiction, with mostly 5 stars. But it has to be in a series. I think I know what I'm picking for this already, and so I'm just going to just check real quick because I saw one and I immediately thought of this. And of course I spelled it wrong on Goodreads, so it says that that's not a book that exists. However, it is a book that exists, and I see it on my shelves. There's no time like the present to read Beartown by Frederick Bachman. Alright, a literary contemporary fiction. It's a series. I've been meaning to read it. I've put it on countless TBRs. I haven't gotten to it. My friends have all read it, said it's fantastic. I just need to finally commit to it. All I know is that it is about a hockey team that like is like the core of the town, and something tragic happens to it. I'm assuming a death or something. I don't know, but they have to deal with the consequences of that. So anyway, Frederick Bachman is a fabulous author. I've enjoyed books from him before. I'm sure this will be very sad. Maybe not tear-jerky, because you know I don't cry because I'm cold-hearted, but that's not new to anybody. Alright, book number 1 down. Let's go to roll number 2. Roll number 2 was 18, which of course I can't find because I can never find the numbers super easily. It's in ancient history, which was authors I've read from before, which is blue, which is fantasy. So that's promising, thank goodness. Hopefully I can get a good prompt to help me. I'm a little scared. I cannot do that. Ask a random stranger at a bookstore what their favorite book is and read it. I literally can't do that. I'm not going to the bookstore before I film this. So, that was a good idea, Rainy, but, you can't do that. That won't unblur for you, so I'll just have to read it. Read a book that you think you will give 5 stars. You know what? Bless. Bless, okay? An author I've read from before, that's a fantasy that I think I'm going to give 5 stars. Let me check my TBR, and then I'll tell you. I'm going to put The Crown of Oaths and Curses on here because I've been wanting to read this for forever. And I gave the first novella, The Scepter, 4.5 stars, and the second one, The Sword, 4 stars. And I think this is going to be a 5-star because I'm just very excited. I've been very interested in the world so far and what it's been about. And I know that this is fated mates, where it's between a witch and a witch hunter, pretty sure, and they absolutely can't stand each other, and they end up being fated to each other, and they have to deal with that. And so I am so freaking excited, but it is a little chonky, like it's got a big booty, as Leandra would say. But yeah, I'm excited to finally put this on the TBR. Alright, on to roll 3. So 47 is ancient history. It's a pink, which means it's a romance and a new, not a new to me author, an author I've read from before. So let's see what the prompts have to say about that, if the fates allow me to get a good book for romance. Alright, here we go. Read a book with a trope you hate. Why would I do that? Why would I do that? I don't even know if there's a trope that I hate. I mean, I don't like when pregnancy is like used to bring a couple together at the end, but like how am I going to know that if I don't read the book first? Like I don't know what I'm supposed to do about that. So I don't know. I do not know. Honestly, there's not really tropes that I hate, so, especially for romance, like, there's really not. Well, I mean, I don't like insta-love, but you also can't figure that out. So, you know what, I'm just gonna have to pick a new prompt for that and not deal with the consequence, because, like, I literally can't do that. Read a book with your age as the last 2 numbers of the ISBN. What in the hell? What in the hell? What in the heckin' bob? Well, it's not that, because that means I would be 81, okay? And it has to be a romance. That is quite unfortunate. Well, this makes me 9 years old. Ah, this is gonna take forever. Let's find my romances. 93, that's when I was born. 52. 4. 69. Pretty funny. 19. This might take a while. Just realized I picked a book, gushed about it, and it's not from an author I've read from before. Back to the drawing board. I literally searched for 10 minutes and couldn't find one, so we're gonna have to try again. These prompts are not being kind to me. They're not being kind, okay? They're not being kind. Read a book with under 1,000 reviews on Goodreads. One that isn't a new release. Are you joking? Are you joking? For romance? I'm like, can I do that by my physical TBR? Because I do have a physical TBR tab on here. I wonder if I can. Let me check. If I do it by number of ratings. Okay. Fabulous. Okay, let's see. Is it going to start with the most or the least? Yeah, let's reverse. Okay. The first romance. Oh, it doesn't have to be the first one. Just read a book under 1,000. Oh. I know exactly what I'm reading. But once again, it has to be from an author that I've read from before. Okay. Okay, we're making this difficult because all of these are from authors that I have not read from before, but they're also new. So there has to be a romance book that is old that I can read from. And so far, these are all new. That's a choice. That could be potential. Okay. I'm seeing a lot of fantasy romance, but I'm going for like romance first. It has to be romance first, not fantasy. Every author on here is someone that I haven't read from, and these all have over 1,000. This is actually a little trickier than I thought. Okay, we might have to go with an author that I haven't read from and just hold it as true as can. And I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to make it an author that I haven't read from before but has under 1,000 ratings that I've been wanting to read because it's one of my favorite booktubers and she wrote a book and I have a beautiful edition of it, and that is Take You Down by McKay Marie. And I mean, it's beautiful. It's a banned rock star romance and I'm literally obsessed. Okay, but anyway, that is what I'm going to choose. And I'm not going to say much more about this. It's a rock star romance and that's what we're going with. On to rule 4.
Having chicken for breakfast.
It is the same hour and a different outfit because I'm about to head to circus and I have the beautiful queen that is Eloise sitting on my lap and she doesn't feel the greatest, but I need to finish filming this before I head for circus so that I have the content. So we're going to try to finish this really quick. We're on rule 4, aren't we, queen? Alright, so rule 4 was a 19, which I know you can't see the board right now because of how I'm holding this queen, but it was a 19, which is a mood read in It's All Relative, which is like an anticipated book or a book that I need to get to. So honestly, any book that I need to put on my TBR. But the prompt is read a backlist romance book that was a Goodreads Choice Awards nominee. So it's not actually a mood read because it has to be a Goodreads Choice nominee. How do you even look at the past Goodreads Choice nominees? Like, how do you do that? Can I go to last year? Let's see. Best books of 2023. Is backlist last year? Probably not. So I'll have to go back further than that. Okay, let's look at Goodreads Romance 2022. Let's look at 2022. I've already read most of these, and surprisingly, and any that I haven't read, I don't want to read. So let's look at 21. I also don't like Goodreads romance though because like it's all just very contemporary, bland, blah, like nothing to write home about. And I don't want to read any of these either. So we'll give it one more try. And then if not, we're gonna pull a different prompt. From Blood and Ash is not a romance, so that should never have been in the romance category. Oh, actually, I'm okay with this. I'm gonna pick this, but I don't have easy access to it. But I'm going to pick the second book in the Brown Sisters trilogy, and that is Take a Hint, Danni Brown. So I would consider this one a priority because I really want to read this book because everyone said that if you didn't like the first book that you will enjoy the second book more. I didn't really love the first book, but everyone says Danni Brown is the best one. I'm very excited. I've heard it has autism representation. I don't know too much more. About it, but that's what we're going to go with, okay? So that is pick number 4. On to roll number 5. Well, roll number 5 is a 38, which is Fears and Pet Peeves, which is a new to me author, a fantasy book. Thank Jesus, I have a lot of those this month. However, I feel like the prompt gods are not being in my favor as of late. So I'm a little bit scared. Read a secondhand book. That's very easy. Almost all of my books are secondhand. So let me just go pick a fantasy that I need to read this month that is secondhand. That might be a little challenging because most of the books that I would want to read are probably not secondhand. But let me check my TBR and get back with you. Okay, I went with a short fantasy romance read that is a new to me author and I bought off of Pango, and that is Fortuna Sworn. I've been wanting to read this book for a hot minute and I don't know a lot about it. Let's see. It says Fortuna Sworn's the last of her kind. Her brother disappeared 2 years ago, leaving her with no family or species to speak of. She hides among humans, spending her days working at a bar and her nights searching for him. The bleak pattern goes on and on until she catches the eyes of a powerful fairy. He makes no attempt to hide that he desires Fortuna, and in exchange for her, he offers something irresistible. So she leaves her safe existence behind to step back into a world of creatures and power. It soon becomes clear that she may not have bargained with her heart, but her very life. Interesting, right, Weezy? I think that's a good pick. All right, on to roll 6. So roll 6 was a 40, which is Fears and Pet Peeves, a new to me author, and it is a thriller or horror, which we haven't gotten to yet. If we pick here, we got read a book with a place in the title, of course. Of course it can't be simple. A place in the title. Okay. Please hold. That actually worked out a lot easier than I thought. I turned around and it was right there, and I need to read this for a secret video this month, so I will read that. The Hacienda by Isabella Cañas. I do not know too much about it. I know it's about like a Mexican gothic horror, and apparently the last time I read this, I got up to page 38, so that's interesting. But it says, Mexican Gothic meets Rebecca in this debut supernatural suspense novel set in the aftermath of the Mexican War of Independence about a remote house, a sinister haunting, and the woman pulled into their clutches. So that is very exciting. Now we need to do the lightning round. Are you loving my numerous like outfit changes and theme changes and all the things? I bet you are. And there's another one coming after this. But you know what? Sometimes you can't film a video all in once. Okay. I've got my other friends things. I have to get 3 out of 5 of these correct within 30 seconds to not have a lightning challenge. All right, and here we go. Which friend did not go to high school? Phoebe. Which friend was a bell ringer for the Salvation Army? Phoebe. Which one of the guys once bought a pair of leather pants? Ross. What was Joey's New Year resolution? I don't know. What was Phoebe's New Year resolution? I could not tell you, but I got 3 right, so I'm gonna stop the timer. All right, let's see. Phoebe, Ross. Oh, to learn how to play the guitar and to pilot a commercial jet. I do remember that now, but I got 3, so there's no lightning round. Digga, do. That was a good one. All right, so we talk about the books that I am reading so far for the TBR. It is these ones, which I think only one of these was actually on my TBR for the month. So that's unfortunate, but that's the way the cookie crumbles, I suppose. This is the 3rd outfit you're seeing in this video and a new location because I'm at school, before school, where there are not many children. So, you know, sometimes you can't film a whole video in one sitting. And I just forgot that I had a lot of things going on last night. And then I realized it's May 1st. I want this video out on May 1st. So I need to film. So that's what you're getting. But it's fine because we already did all 6 rolls and the lightning roll. Okay, so we have a lot of fabulous books on the TBR as so far. And it's not that terribly chunky yet. So we've done the rolls and we know what we're reading for that at least, which unfortunately my game was not helpful and did not add books that actually are on my TBR, which is kind of stressful because I already have a lot of books. It's fine. Let's talk about the Escape the Readathon and the books that I'm going to probably read for specific prompts, but then again, I can change them if I want to, but these are what I'm planning on reading, and then I know that I'm going to have to read other books as well. So the first one is for Good Fortune, which needs to be your most read genre, and this one being my most read genre, I'm actually going to put A Crown of Oaths and Curses, which I already have on my TBR for the month, because you know what, you can double up in my TBR game and in Escape the Readathon, so that is the one that I'm going to read for that. I'm very excited to make that happen. And then we have Unfair Wheel, which is supposed to be the top of the TBR for you. And I actually have Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez because I have been wanting to read that since it came out. I love Abby Jimenez. I pre-ordered it. I'm trying to do better at pre-order incentives and actually reading the books that I pre-order when they come. And so I'm very excited to get to that. Then we have Food Court, which is a popcorn read, basically a book that you think is going to be super quick and easy to read. And I'm going to put A Gathering of Shadows, which is the second book in the Darker Shade of Magic series by V.E. Schwab. And I'm reading that as a buddy read, again, with Danni and Katy. And I think Beatriz is reading with us this time. And the reason that I think that's a popcorn read is because when I read the first book, I didn't want to stop reading the pages for the day. Like I wanted to keep going, and that's the sign of a really good book. I'm very excited to continue on and see what this series has to offer. Then we have Cutthroat Circus, which is matching a thumbnail of a host, like the book has to match, and I'm not going to pick something for that right now. I will figure out a host thumbnail to match, but like that shouldn't be that difficult. Then we have Heads Up, which is an author that you've read from before, and I'm going to put Crown of Midnight and Air of Fire by Sarah J. Maas because I am doing a buddy read with Kelsea and Neva, and I am very behind, and so I told them I would be caught up by the time we read Queen of Shadows, but like I'm gonna read Crown of Midnight and finish it, and then I'm gonna read Air of Fire next month, so that is the plan for that. Then we have Horsing Around, which is an intimidating read to you. And I'm going to put my book club, the Tortured Readers Club, which if you missed the announcement, you can watch it underneath here. I'm going to put our book club for May, our book pick, which is When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker, because it's like 700 pages. And apparently it's very whimsical, flowery writing, which is nothing that I'm against. I'm very excited. I even just pre-ordered a special edition that has dragons on the edges because like, how could I not? Like, it's beautiful. So yeah, that's intimidating to me though, because like chunky books are not scary to me. I just never have time to read them. That's the whole problem. Like, I don't want to take months and months and months to read a book, you know? We have Bullseye Battle, which is a new to you author, and I'm going to put To Bleed a Kingdom, and you can look at the author's name on the cover right here, because I don't know the author's name, but this is for Tori's Who Did This To You book club. She always either picks, like, books that, like, are new and up and coming, or she picks ones that haven't been heard of before, and I'm very excited because I've never heard of this one. I'm excited to get introduced to new fantasy romance, and I do love her book club very much. Then we have No Strings Attached, which is a book that a friend recommends, and Katy actually recommended for me Funny Story by Emily Henry, which is fabulous because that's already on the TBR, so you know, kill two birds with one stone. Thank you, Katy. I'm sure I will love it, and if I don't love it, you will get the receipts. Then we have Hard Hitter, which is a 5-star prediction, and I'm going to put Glow of the Everflame here by Penn Cole, because while Spark of the Everflame was a 4.5 star, everyone says the second book is phenomenally better. And I just feel like all the questions that I have are going to get answered and more, and the steam is going to be steaming and the slow burn is going to be burning, and I just feel like this is going to give me that 5-star feeling. I feel it in my bones. I feel it in my bones. And then we have Funhouse, which is a book picked with a poll pick, which I actually put up a poll last night with 4 different options. And the one that ended up winning was Slaying the Shadow Prince. And at first it was a tie between that and Glow of the Everflame. So I'm going to be reading Slaying the Shadow Prince by Helen Schurer. I've been wanting to read this for a while. I want to read her Blood and Steel series. And so apparently if you read this first, that's a good thing to do before you read it. So I think it'll be a fun, smutty time. So those are my Escape the Readathon plans, and so that's actually not that bad. And then I just have a couple more that I want to put on here for like buddy reads and read-alongs and all of that sort of stuff. So we already talked about my book club selection, which is When the Moon Hatched. We talked about reading A Gathering of Shadows with Danni, Katy, and Beatriz. We talked about Heir of Fire and Crown of Midnight with Kelsea and Neva. And then I'm actually going to be reading the second book in the From Blood and Ash series, which is A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire. I'm going to be reading that with Brooklyn and Brittany, because Brittany got it on her Timmy's TBR, and I was like, oh, I actually need to read that because Jennifer L. Armentrout is going to be on the Romantasy, probably Goodreads, for like years and years to come. So I should actually catch up on her series so that I can like know whether to vote for those or not. And so I need to continue on with From Blood and Ash because I read it 2 years ago, 5-starred it, absolutely loved it, but like I need to continue on, and I don't know when else I'm going to continue on if I don't have friends pushing me to do it. Kids are coming upstairs because it's almost time for class, and so I'm going to try and finish this really quick. But I also have Funny Story, which I already talked about, which I'm also reading for That's What She Read book club, which is run by my friend Jess over at Hustle Sanely. She has a book club now, and I absolutely love her, and I'm obsessed with her, and that's our first book for her club, and so very excited to get to this Emily Henry. And then Jan Agaton, I don't always participate in her full moon book club, but they're reading Dragon Fruit this month, and I have that book, and I missed reading it with Bree and Cal last month, and I've heard that it's really good, and it's BIPOC, so I'm definitely intrigued. I know nothing about it, but the cover is stunning. And then I already talked about Tori's Who Did This To You book club, which is To Bleed a Kingdom. And then we have for Prosecco and Pages, which is another fantasy romance book club that I'm in. We're reading Long Live by V.B. Lacey, which we were supposed to read, I thought, in April, and I got it wrong. But you know what? It's fine. We're going to read it in May, and that's totally fine. And then the last book that I'm going to tell you about, which I already told you about, is Just for the Summer. I'm reading it for a vlog also as well, and I can't tell you that. But yeah, that's all I'm going to tell you. I have other books planned for the TBR, but at this point, I've said so many books in this video that we're going to call it quits. So yeah, we have a lot of books that we're reading this month. A lot of books. But you know what? I'm excited. This slump is going to be over. I feel it. Today is a new day. It's May 1st. Birds are chirping. Bees are humming. And it's just going to be fabulous. Okay, so make it a great day. If you got to the end of this, let's put a fruit emoji, any type of fruit emoji you want for Dragon Fruit, because that's the first book that I saw when I looked over at my laptop. And let me know what's the book that you're going to be reading for May that you're very excited about. Let me know if you're reading our Tortured Readers book club selection for the month. Let me know that too. The audio comes out on May 7th for that, if I didn't say that already. And with that, I'll see you guys in the video super soon. Bye.